Takes more than guts to be a gangster. It takes good ideas, and I hope these ideas help you. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your mob boss, Gangster KT, and today going to do a quick video about mob resources and putting the power where it matters. So I'm going to talk about a few upgrades I did last night as far as diamonds, and those are such a rare resource, so I am very deliberate. So I'm going to go through a little theory on upgrading characters and then talk about how I approach diamonds and what diamond upgrades I have done. So before getting started, just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone. It is Christmas Eve today, so really excited for tomorrow and hope you are as well. But let's talk about some MSF first. So wanted to talk about some theory, and I can phrase this as like having a best toon versus a best toon to upgrade. And a lot of times those are the same, but there can be some distinctions there. So I really want to do a focus deep dive here on the arena match right now and talking about Black Cat versus Robbie. Now these are both amazing characters, right? Build them both as big as you can. But like between the two, is there a distinction between which one's the best for the match versus which one's the best to upgrade? So if we look at Black Cat, I think most importantly, she makes it so when she has death proof, there is no speed manipulation of the secret defenders, and that is huge. She's also very fast. She's got good damage, although I'll say she does have the chain, but her ult is single target, so it's limited targets. She has the stun trauma, and then because of that safeguard and the death proof she has, and she also gives safeguard to her team, she's very survivable. So just a great, great character overall. Then we look at Robbie, and he has, I think, the focus is huge damage in his bleeds. His ult is a big AoE with big bleeds that really, can just wipe your opponent a lot of times. And then his special does have the AoE effect, but it's not the whole team. It's just the next targets, neighboring targets. He's also very fast because of the speed gains from opponents getting bleeds. And then he has that ping damage that removes buffs from enemies, and I think that's one of his biggest tricks as well. So if we look at these two, I've been doing some testing in Arena because I still haven't been able to get like a really reliable strategy down. I can win probably over half the matches, but I'm looking to do better. So I tried some testing and I took out Black Cat on one of the matches, thinking, maybe she wouldn't be as good, and just instantly realized that was a mistake because of the speed manipulation. As soon as I saw my team starting to get all the speed rewinds, from Scroll and just in general from Kamala, I was like, holy cow, this is not going to work, and it didn't. So overall, between these two, I think Black Cat is by far the most important for that match and for everything she brings. However, when you look at what that is, again, it's the no speed manipulation, it's the stun trauma, it's how survivable she is in the death proofs. Her health isn't as big of a deal as it is for most characters because of those death proofs. And I'd say besides her damage, which is great, and don't get me wrong, she's a great character to upgrade, putting more power on her doesn't change the speed manipulation. It doesn't change her death proofs. It really doesn't change like how much she brings to the team. Whereas someone like Robbie is very power dependent. So if this distinction matters to anyone like it does to me, for this comparison, and we'll talk about how this applies to diamonds, but I think Black Cat is the best toon. There's no question. I've actually said differently before that I thought Robbie was the most important toon for that match, and that's wrong. It's Black Cat. Out of these two, Skrull's the most important, but Robbie is the most important of these two to upgrade, and again, that is a distinction. So I enjoy that type of theory, wanted to talk through that. And now we'll say, how does this type of theory apply to diamonds? So with how rare diamonds are, so many resources in the game are abundant right now. I have 40 million gold. And I took my Hella up to 95. She was fairly low on my overall list, but I just don't have anyone I need to upgrade right now. Diamonds is the exception, right? I'd love to have a ton more diamonds. So I'm very deliberate with how I handle those, kind of like we handled gold promos when those first came out. And I wanted to use Vol as an example because Vol is such an unbelievable character. Has the biggest stats in the game. And I'll say from a pure stat standpoint, putting a diamond on Vol is going to be the most impact on a character because of how much more damage you'll get, how much more health you'll get because of her stats. But at the end of the day, as great as Vol is, and I'm using Vol every day, Upgrading Vol isn't the most impactful. I'm not planning matches around Vol. Like for Crucible, normally I'll bring Vol just if I need a fifth character that does a lot of damage. Maybe that ability block's valuable. Maybe can get to her ultimate, which matches over if that happens. But in general, I'm not planning matches around Vol. So I've been really tempted to put a diamond on Vol, but I haven't. And again, it's really where do I want to do my upgrades to change matches. And for me, with Crucible having 12 offense and defense teams and War having 20, even though I do have more fun with War, I do prioritize my upgrades with a Crucible focus. And 99% of the time, that upgrade is going to apply to War as well. But so I think through, with my current Crucible, with the season right now, what characters would putting a little more power in really change a match or maybe enable a new counter? And that is different than looking at just who's the best character list. And that really stood out to me when I did some upgrades last night. So what have I done before last night? I had taken Kang to 2 diamond. That was my first upgrades I done. I think, Kang is a no-brainer. As good as he is and as valuable as he is and as much as that power matters for everything he does. So Kestrel is another character, same story. Kestrel is an absolute no-brainer. I took Kestrel to 2 diamonds as quickly as I could. Robbie, because of how great he is, I took the 1 diamond. I actually don't have his 7th yellow star yet, so now that he's farmable, that'll change soon. But wouldn't recommend doing that in general, and probably will consider taking him to 2 fairly soon as well. In Weaver, I'd done 1 diamond. So last night I was sitting at about 240 of these credits, and again, they're the most valuable resource in the game right now, and I don't like having that high of an opportunity cost. Gold is different because there's no one I'm dying to do as abundant as gold is right now, but I have tons of characters I'd love to put diamonds on, so I felt like storing 240 of these things was not the right decision. So I really started thinking through again, who is going to change my Crucible matches right now, and I came up with 2 characters. That was Weaver, putting a 2nd diamond on Weaver, and I did that. And then this shocked me because in general I do not like upgrading old characters, but the next and most important one for me on this list was actually Icarus. I put 1 diamond on Icarus. In Crucible right now, I wish I had him all over the place, He can counter the Pegasus so easily. He can be a huge counter to Death Seed in that room. And just that speed manipulation, he still has one of the best kits in the game when paired with Cersei. And just a little more damage on him, a little more stats is huge because he is at that point where he's on the verge of power creep. So if you can keep his kit viable longer, still finding places in Crucible and War to use him every day all over the place. And at the end of the day, I felt that was the most valuable diamond upgrade I could do after that 2nd diamond on Weaver. I am planning matches around Icarus. And you just can't say that with everyone, with someone like Vol even. So that's what I've done. That's kind of how I approach diamonds. I did want to give a shout out to Doc Ock in the corner there. I pulled a 2 diamond on him, so didn't have to make the decision. But I'll say in general, I think he's a really valuable one to consider. Right now, maybe not quite as much because the Superior 6 is really dominant. But when those matches get closer down the road or you're maybe punching up, his survivability for that team is ridiculous and it's huge. You guys probably remember 3 years ago where there was that match with Doc Ock where you'd get into it in War where he'd just heal himself up and you couldn't kill him and you'd time out or have to cancel. And seeing a little bit of that again, not to that extent, but he does have that crazy survivability. So I think after you do the one shown here that we talked about, I think he is one worth considering. So, hope you guys enjoyed this quick video today talking about diamonds, Crucible, who I'm upgrading. Again, really just wanted to take a chance on Christmas Eve to say Merry Christmas to everyone if you celebrate that. Happy holidays. I hope everyone really can enjoy the end of the year here. Spend some time with your family, with your friends. That's so important. We all love Marvel Strike Force, but put your phone down for a minute, and that is coaching for myself there. So again, just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. As always, I give you my word that this is the best advice I have. All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Peace!